You're listening to The Burning Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes, I'm your host Matt Burns, and I would like to state I do apologise for not being on at me regular scheduled programme timed, which is at 9 o'clock. I do apologise for that with us being so late because there has been some massive technical issues with some of the broadcasting equipment. I do apologise for that. So I know it's not a great way to start a episode. But going forward, I'm just going to state from now on, with any future episodes, if I am not on at 9 o'clock, please stay around until at least 9:30. Till about 9:30. If after if time gets past 9:30, I will most likely be cancelling the episode. So I do apologise for that. In regards to the broadcast episode this week, got some interesting topics to discuss in this week's episode. Some of it involving some of the past, some of it involving current events, some of it involving rumours, and some of it even involving, as usual, British wrestling as well. But let's get down to business and move straight on to the show. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to get straight to it and get straight on to British wrestling, which is the fact that last Friday, when I'm normally currently busy as such, either preparing for upcoming broadcasts, upcoming wrestling shows, and also with me also taking on the UKWA. Also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. I've been very busy as of late, which I do apologise for. Which means there could be certain episodes where the burning truth is missed because of it. But when that happens, I will be on social media stating that I will be cancelling the episode and everything as such. But that is not the case for this week. But in my dubious times of being so busy, I managed to get to a local show, as I always keep stating at the end of every episode of The Burning Truth. Well, I say local, but not as local as, could be local for some, not so local for others, but absolutely fantastic. I always recommend going to either local shows or even, any shows if you're able to get there. But one show I went to on Friday was nothing but wrestling. Now, from top to bottom, I will give the overall review of this show is absolutely brilliant. The crowd went home entertained, and what more could you ask for? Honestly, you can't ask for much more than that. And the guys that were on the show were beating each other from pillar to post, and even swinging, a few chairs, hitting for the scoreboard scores, if thinking that they're baseball players. I will state, when I saw a certain chair shot in a certain Falls Count Anywheres match, ow, that had to hurt. And of course, main event was absolutely amazing as such, and it also led on to further, straight after that match, it also led to the next continuation of the match. Unfortunately, I will not be stating any results, because the reason why I won't be stating any results of the show is because I'd rather you find out the results by checking out their social media. Check them out. Check them out on their Facebook. If they're on Twitter, if they're also on Instagram, check them out. Or even if they're on YouTube, please give them a quick look up, which is nothing but wrestling. And I will just state this to all the guys that were on the show, from the guys who were on the pre-show, from the guys to the main event. From one end of the show to the opposite end of the show, I'd like to say thank you very much for entertaining the crowd and myself. Thank you very much, and for the hard work and hard effort that you did put into it. Hopefully I will be able to attend more more of Nothing But Wrestling shows in future. So please, anybody who is local to where, if anybody wants to check them out, look them up. Nothing But Wrestling. They're on social media. Check them out. Check out their shows. What that could be a potential show, not a potential company that you don't want to be missing out on. And massive credit to all the guys that work at Nothing But Wrestling, especially to the guys who have the hard job of also trying to get that show prepared. I will state, congratulations, guys. Even though I know it's your second show as well, congratulations to you. Keep up the great work. Now, moving on straight across overseas to America. Now, instead of going straight to WWE, normally I would go straight to WWE. Normally, but in regards to this piece of news, it's not. It's to do with a former WWE wrestler, which is CM Punk. Now, supposedly, CM Punk is being sued by his best friend, Colt Cabana. Now, a lot of people are going to be stating, why is Colt Cabana suing CM Punk? It just doesn't ask the question. Have they had a falling out? Have they argued over something? What's gone on? What are the details? Now, this is in regards to the court case that both CM Punk and Colt Cabana had recently. And the reason why Colt Cabana is suing CM Punk is because in regards to the court cases that they both had to defend against, which is in regards to a WWE member of medical staff. Supposedly CM Punk hasn't paid his part of the court case yet, and Colt Cabana is trying to sue to get the cost of what CM Punk should have paid in regards to the court cases. Now, that is, at this moment in time, this is only speculation, rumours from what I know of. If there's any more details I can actually find out in regards to this, I will hopefully be able, hopefully bring it to light to yourselves as such. But very interesting news, the fact that CM Punk is being sued by Colt Cabana. Now, if this is 100% real, I will state that could do some serious damage to some friendships. And I hope it's not the case, and that it's just a bit of an impasse, a bit of a disagreement as such that can be resolved very peacefully and everything gets sorted, because it's never good when friends are fighting. It's never good. But let's move on from that, shall we? Now, there's also the rumour that Enzo Amore and Big Cass are going to go to Impact Wrestling. Now, supposedly there is that rumour at this moment in time, with both of them being out of WWE, especially with Enzo in regards to the reason why he left, and Big Cass being released by WWE. Now, a lot of people do actually speculate that Big Cass has still got a big future ahead of him as such. But in regards to Enzo, he may not want to go back to WWE due to the reason that he left. But you never know. Time has been a bit of a healer from time to time, and has had some faces return that you'd never thought you'd see on WWE. Time can heal wounds. It does happen. Now, in regards to whether if this is true or not, if Enzo Amore or Big Cass will be, if I do find out any truth to in regards to them going to Impact Wrestling, I will hopefully get that out either on the social media or either by mentioning on future episodes of The Burning Truth. I'll get that out as soon as possible. Now, let's move on to some news regarding WWE. Now, WWE is currently investigating an allegation against Randy Orton that is to do with WWE writers that occurred in 2012. Now, supposedly there was some discrepancy in regards to the way Randy Orton was, you know, certain actions he was doing against WWE writers in 2012, which I will not discuss in detail as such, but due to the nature of what was going on, if you do look into it, please understand that the nature of it is possibly a bit more adultish and maybe unsuitable for younger audiences as such. So I do recommend that if you do look it up, please understand you may need to have I'm just forewarning you just in case in regards to what the allegations in question. Now, on top of that, with the allegation of what was occurring, and as such, he was also trying to get them to shake hands due to, straight after the aforementioned allegation as such, and when the writers weren't shaking hands, oh, you're trying to be a big shot against me, and also threatening to supposedly report a writer to higher up management, and it was almost, it's not great allegations. If these allegations are true, and it does come to light that Randy Orton was doing these actions, this will not look good for Randy Orton, especially with the current events in regards to WWE, and it seems like it's not great, because in the past that Randy Orton doesn't exactly have a great track record, especially with his temperament as such. But it's all speculation, and it's been investigated as of yet. If it comes out that Orton didn't do any of the supposed allegations as such, then I will be. If it is, then fair enough, fair play. He hasn't done anything wrong, and the writers should be possibly reprimanded for even bringing it up to try and that, because that could do some serious damage to someone, to Randy Orton's career, because that could be the thing that could possibly get him fired, dropping down on the roster as such. But it's a bit of a dirty trick if the allegations aren't true. If they are true, then Randy Orton deserves every single punishment that he does get from WWE, and possibly and that may even include being dismissed, because the actions in regards to it is very childish and very immature, and should be dealt with, and should have been dealt with at the time. But it may not get as much fury now, because with it being so long ago. But we'll have to wait until the investigation is put through and all sorted out, and hopefully we come to a great conclusion where both sides ends up with a positive. And I'm just hoping that it does come out positive on both ends, because it's what's best for wrestling. Now, the next topic I'm going to be discussing has got some controversy behind it. So I do have to forewarn that there is some controversy behind this piece of news, which is the fact that supposedly Jerry Lawler Jerry the King Lawler is not believing the report in regards to the death of Brian Christopher, his son, which he supposedly is stating didn't happen due to him hanging himself. It wasn't a result of him hanging himself, and this is due to supposed marks that were on his neck and also his hands, which could have also indicated that he tried to take pressure away as such, to stop himself from hanging as such. But it's not great in regards to this. Supposedly this is the supposed news has been posted. This comes from WBTV News, which is updated in regards to it, and it was supposedly stated that they received countless calls, text messages from people, actually eyewitnesses that were in jail and saw things that happened on the actual day that Brian died. That now has opened up a new can of worms. Joe said it just doesn't seem like it was suicide. It's also reported that Brian was reallocated to a segregated cell after engaging in a fight with a fellow inmate. He was in the Hardymans County Jail after a DUI arrest in July, and it from a statement that Jerry said, just look at the neck and look at his hands. You can see the lines on his neck all the way around here to here, which would be the length of your hand, as if he was trying to keep the pressure off. And it was also reported that almost 20 cameras inside of the jail were offline, and Jerry promises to not give up on the issue until more details are known. Now, in regards to the nature of what has occurred, it is a massive shame, and as I stated, last week, in regards to his rest in peace, Brian Christopher. Now, if in fact it is the fact that the details are truthful and as such. As much as I can state that a lot of people can't state that Joey Lawler, if the details surrounding Brian Christopher's death is truthful, then this could be Joey Lawler going through a stage of being in denial in regards to the events that occurred, and it's going to take time in regards to being able to move on in regards to the person, which we hope he is able to in regards to. Now, if the details surrounding it are false, then I can understand Jerry Lawler's stating then this needs to be investigated, because if the case is that the details are false, are incorrect, then the fact that the cameras, there's a lot of controversy in regards to with the fact that cameras were off, and as such, could this be leading to something further? Does further investigation need to be put into play? And as such, if that is the case, where there is what Jerry Lawler, if there is some truth behind what Jerry Lawler is making a claim of, then this needs to be immediately investigated, because there could be a potential of something more sinister have occurred. Now, in regards to this piece of news, I will not be stating any further details in regards to some of the, I'm not going to go into the full story in regards to it, but I will only be stating on a future episode if the supposed surrounding details are true, or are false. Anything above that, then I will state it there and then, but I will not be going into further details because of the nature of the situation, and because it's a very touchy subject. So I will state, I do apologise for bringing up this, the controversial subject of the matter, as I normally try to keep this as family friendly as much as possible. So if anybody is offended, I do apologise right now in regards to bringing up this subject. Now, let's move on from that subject and get on to the final piece I want to just a bit of a mention, which is to do with the UKWA, UK Wrestling Alliance, which is, as mentioned on Facebook, last week on Monday, there was a roster reveal, which was the current King of the Kingdom champion Luke Basham being revealed as a member of the UKWA roster. Now, unfortunately, the post of his reveal on Instagram and Twitter was only revealed today due to some technical glitches. So, in regards to that, the UKWA does apologise. Team UKWA does apologise for that fact that it only was released today. However, there will be another member of the roster being revealed tomorrow. As in regards to a time, it is currently unknown as of yet, but they will, to keep an eye out on the UKWA social media tomorrow, as another member of the roster will be revealed. Now, with that all done, I'm going to now move on to plug, announce some plugs, one of them being the UKWA, UK Wrestling Alliance. Give them a check out on their on social media. We'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. I also recommend you check out the UK Wrestling Media, as they do absolutely fantastic work for media, which is photography, video work, and as such, check them out. JC Printing and Stitching, they do phenomenal work for printing. I know I've actually had some of their merchant, some of their stuff handcrafted for me, and they do phenomenal work. I recommend you check out Changes for Health and Wellbeing, as especially the website, especially because the fact that it could actually end up helping either yourself or someone that you may not know. You never know. The knowledge that's on the Changes UK website can prove very vital and important, and even if the information doesn't help you directly there and then, it could help you down the road. You never know. And I recommend you check out Team 4-Star, especially with their Dragon Ball Z Abridged series, which is on YouTube. I recommend you check out Bands The New Breed, Kamens, as well. Both bands, absolutely fantastic. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep up rocking out them great tunes. As usual, I've got to give my usual Batchamania shout out that I have to do every week. You're welcome, Matthew. And I'm also going to recommend you check out Barely Average Studios, that does some gaming reviews, as one of the guys on there is a former wrestler who I've actually been in the ring with. Great guy. Recommend you check out Barely Average Studios for that. And as an additional plug, I want everybody to check out Fatal Misfire, which Fatal Misfire does some game streaming as such, which is on Twitch, which the link for that is twitch.tv/Fatal Misfire HD. I recommend you check that out. Now, in case if anybody wants to know when is he normally streaming, as such, do I have that schedule? He's, from what I've gathered from his social media, he usually does streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting anytime between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. GMTV/BST time, which is UK time. And as such, I recommend you check him out. The guy, I will state, I've known him for some time myself. It's glad to see him back on the game streaming scene, the gaming scene as such, and I recommend you give him a check out. And last but not least, I want you to check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where you can be listening to us live right now on there, or you could be as such, you could either be listening to past broadcast episodes, past interviews, show reviews, be it audio or written. Check out the snazzy merchandise section, where you can possibly get some amazing Burning Truth t-shirts, and also some great office mugs. Great presents, either for birthdays, as such, in big events. You never know. In regards to the blog, I will state I do apologise for mentioning that every week. I will be doing a blog post, hopefully. Unfortunately, the blog is currently on hold and on hiatus, so I'll hopefully get something out when I can. And as such, there is a contact page where you can actually contact the Burning Truth. There's also, and there's also a links page, and I'll be hopefully adding the Fatal Misfire link on there, shortly. But all the links, all the things that I have actually plugged today will most likely be on there. So I do recommend you check that out as such. So, and last thing to mention, which is please check out the social media with, our social medias and the Burning Truth social media by checking out our Facebook page, checking out our YouTube, Twitter, be it Spreaker, where, that could also be another place where you're listening to the Burning Truth, as well as YouTube, of course, and of course Instagram. And as I stated, the only thing that isn't where it says it's the Burning Truth is Twitter, which the handle for Twitter is Wrestling Fourth Wall, which is spelled WRESLING 4THWALL. And last but not least, I always recommend this for you, is to always check out your local wrestling. Just some great examples for wrestling to check out is United Wrestling Live. Check them out on their social media because they also give out some great family tickets as well. I recommend you check out Nothing But Wrestling, of course. Please check them out. And also, I recommend you checking out Hope Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, and as such. And last but not least, I also recommend anybody to check out the charity event that will be happening next week on a Sunday, which is for Mind. For Mind, and be an absolute fantastic show as it's multiple wrestling companies coming together. Now, there could be a possible, a bit of a delay in next week's episode due to me being at that event, because I definitely want to be there myself. If anybody wants to see, the link, a link for that event, I will be hopefully sharing that out on the Burning Truth on the Burning Truth Facebook social media page, and in a link to it. So hopefully you'll be able to get your tickets and be entertained, but at the same time, while also being entertained, also giving to charity, towards the charity called Mind. But last but not least, I will reiterate it once again, for the final wrap up. Please check out your local wrestling. And as always, stay well, stay safe, and I'll hopefully catch you next week.